7:30 in the morning, Playhouse in the morning, Y94. Second date update in just minutes on the show. Prize Thieves at 8:20. Zero in the Playhouse with E filling in for Jamie and Amy K. And we were talking about things you played with as a kid. Definitely was not a toy. Was there any other ones you want to snag?
If you're sitting there wondering, I don't know if I had any, I guarantee this might be it.
Okay.
Kick the can.
Oh, sure, yeah.
What is a can? A can's not a toy, right?
No, I mean, it becomes a toy when you're kicking it around, and that's the game.
That's right. This one, too. Maybe we'll do it for you if that one didn't. I don't know if they still do this a lot, but when you order a pizza, there's a little plastic piece that keeps the top of the box from coming down.
The very middle, that little circular thing.
That became every little tiny kitchen table your action figures ever had, or dolls or whatever it was, right? You had that little plastic piece in the middle.
Or a chair, I suppose. It could have been a chair for him or something like that.
And this one, too, I know was pretty rampant among the middle school. I was at the glue ball. When you were in class, you'd take the glue and you'd roll it in your fingers. Then you'd start to build this ball up throughout the year. And eventually, at the end, you had a glue ball.
How's literally nobody said bubble wrap?
Oh, yeah. Yeah?
Because even adults, I think, if you have, for whatever reason, you have bubble wrap around you, you're going to play with that bubble wrap. You're going to sit there and pop that bubble wrap.
All the bubbles, too, not just a couple.
No, you got to get all of them.
All the bubbles.
One by one. And do you do it one by one, or do you crunch it into one giant squishable ball?
Depends where I'm at. It depends what kind of day I'm having, I think.
How stressed out you are?
Yeah. If I kind of just want some time to kill, I'm going one by one. But if I want a real thrust, I go with all of them.
I like the full popcorn effect of just squeezing the whole wad of it.
Do you ever twist? You ever take and twist?
I have twisted. I'm not a twister, I wouldn't say, but I've twisted.
Living.
Just feels good. Second date update today. Becca wondering why she's being ghosted by Ryan. Becca, can you kind of roll through the situation for us, please?
Okay, hey, so I met this great guy, Ryan. We actually matched on Tinder.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, and, and I haven't really been going out that much, and, and I was just kind of scrolling through one night and figured, okay, well, why not? He seems kind of cute, so I reached out. We actually matched, and I reached out and to see if he was doing anything Thanksgiving weekend, and he wasn't, so we arranged to meet on Friday night, and I had a great time. I thought it was... I really had a nice connection with him, and it seemed like he was having a really great time, too. But, I've been texting him since, and he hasn't been responding at all. And, I can't figure out what's going on. And, because I thought everything was great, so I'm a little confused.
So you guys are just shy of a week past your date, or do you have any theories as to what would have went wrong? Did he seem like he wasn't having a good time at all?
No. I mean, yeah, he seemed like he was having a really great time. I could not figure out. I've gone through, and I mean, I went through everything. And I relooked at, our old correspondence, all the old texts and, stuff like that. And it just, I can't figure out what the heck's going on.
You guys just went out, had a good time. You'd think there'd be another date. So why don't we go ahead and we'll just give him a call here. We'll bring him to the conversation and see what he has to say for himself, okay?
Sounds great.
All right, hang on. You hear any red flags in there, E?
I guess not. Obviously, there's plenty of red flags, but I don't know if it's still a thing. Is the 1 week rule thing still kind of a deal that you're not supposed to... You kind of give it the week? Is that done? Is that old?
I think in the era of text messaging...
Change that up?
Yeah. Within the 24, 48 hours, it's weird to not pick up your conversation again. So, Friday, I think you'd have heard from him by now if he was interested. I do.
Especially since she's been texting.
Yeah, if he's just not responding.
Trying to give a little hope there, and you smashed it.
Yeah, that's what I do. Trying to get into second date update and figure out what's going on for you here in a sec.
You're in the Playhouse on Y94.
Make sure you stay tuned and listen up.
Better wake up. Better wake up.
Y94.
Good morning, Y94, Playhouse in the morning, 0. And then we got E filling in for Jamie and Amy K today in the middle of second date update for Becca. Actually, I had kind of a hard time getting Ryan on the phone here, but we finally got him squared away. Quick recap. Basically, they met on Tinder, went out on Friday, so Black Friday, Thanksgiving weekend, they went out. And she thought it went fine, getting ghosted, obviously, though. And we're going to try to get her either another date or some closure. And now, Ryan, you do hear us okay, yeah?
Yeah. Hi, how you doing?
All right, so I don't know what was said to you exactly here when you were thrown on a hold, but I'm just going to kind of enter into this with you here. So we're doing a segment on the show called Second Date Update. And the gist of this segment, if you've never heard it before, is people are wondering what's going on. They feel like they're getting ghosted, and they'd like another date, but at the very least, we'd like to get them some closure. So we've been chatting with, and she can hear everything you say after this point, Becca. You guys went out on Friday. She feels like she had a good time with you. Would you be open to saying why you seem to be ghosting her? Do you even agree that you are ghosting her?
Yeah, actually, yes. I am. I'm definitely open to saying that I am ghosting her, but I mean, I don't want to be judged, so I don't know if I want to just go out there and say exactly why. But yeah, I mean, we had a great time. We went, had a few margaritas, had some nachos, and I got to know her, and I really liked a lot about her. Obviously, there's one thing that was really, really wrong with the whole situation that I didn't know before, but I mean, I'm not sure how much he told you.
Well, what was the thing? Did she get a little wasted or what?
No. So I found out that she has a 3-year-old son, and like that's great for her. That's amazing, but I'm not really into dating women who have kids, which is kind of crazy to say these days. But, I consider myself as a young guy. I just turned 30. And I'm at the point in my life where, I mean, if I want to have kids, I want to be with somebody that I have kids with. I don't exactly want to just get thrown into a family. You know what I mean?
So would you say, like, the only reason you're ghosting her is because of the kid?
Yes. That's the entirety of ghosting her. Otherwise, she's amazing, but it's just that's a big deal for me.
I'm sorry. Are you really serious that that's the only thing? That's why you're not returning my calls? Because, I mean, I had a really good time. I thought we really connected, but it's because I have a kid. That's why you're.
Yes.
My son is amazing. I can't believe it. I'm sorry. What?
Listen, I'm being completely honest with you. I wish you would have brought it up when we were messaging on Tinder. Usually, I mean, in a Tinder profile, you could say, yeah, I like long walks on the beach. I like breakfast burritos. I have a kid. It kind of just goes on there.
That's kind of a weird place to be talking about kids. It's a dating site, and it's not something that I felt comfortable talking about on that site. I mean, I think that's really weird.
Listen, I'm being completely honest with you. I had a really good time this date. And I mean, if you're looking for any drama from me, you're not going to find it. Like, I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to debate. I'm just being 100% honest. That's not something I'm into.
So in your mind, she would have been somebody you would have dated if she didn't have a son. But that's the one deal breaker.
Exactly. Yes. If she didn't have a son, I would be going on another date right away. I would have been answering all of those 25 texts I've gotten last week. But yes, definitely.
Beck, have you ever had this kind of experience before? Has this happened with other guys you've been on dates on?
No, or maybe I had. Maybe I didn't know I was experiencing it in dating. But and I can appreciate that he's telling me this, but it would have been something like you could have picked up the phone and say, hey, you're great, but, I don't want to see you because I just think it's a coward's way out to ghost somebody.
Well, listen. I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. At the time, I thought that was the best way to deal with it, and that's just how I feel.
It was the best way for you, but you did hurt my feelings no matter what you were doing because you weren't responding to me, and you left me in limbo with no understanding of what was going on. So you were going to hurt me anyway that you handled it. But it was the easiest thing for you. And maybe you just need to admit that was the easiest thing for you to do, the best way for you to handle it for you. But the fact of the matter is you were going to hurt me no matter what you did. And that's kind of the coward's way out of it. So, fine.
Now, I will say this, Ryan. If that was the only thing that you were unsure about, maybe it's worth spending some more time together. We would pay for that. I don't know if that's something you'd be interested in at all.
Honestly, I'm not interested. Becca, you're great, but I mean, my advice was to just be more straightforward next time, beforehand, before we meet. And I mean, having a son that lives with you full time, like that's a pretty big thing to spring on someone on the first date. And like I said, I'm just being honest, and I'm sorry I made you feel that way.
Yeah, well, maybe you should be more forward with the person, too, if you're deciding not to contact them back. That would be an honorable thing to do. So, okay, fine.
First of all, I guess, Ryan, we should thank you for the honesty. Appreciate you spending some time with us today. But as far as you go, Becca, I promise there is some real gems, like special dudes out there that would be completely unaffected by this. And if your relationship got serious, I mean, they would embrace the situation. So don't feel discouraged. While it's not an uncommon issue he has, it's not every guy. And it's a valid.
I know that. And I'm just very protective of my son because he's had it rough. And so it's not something I'm going to bring up right away. And I'm going to be very careful about who I expose him to. So, Ryan showed me who he was. And I guess he did me a big favor. So moving on. Next.
All right. Both of you guys, we really appreciate you just sharing your lives with us. And have a great day, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. I don't feel like I think the only thing you can fault Ryan on is maybe the ghosting. He maybe could have touched back with her, but I don't think that's an uncommon or invalid reason.
Tax Club agrees with you. I agree with you. It's almost though where I was catching Ryan, and it was like, hey man, that's a perfectly valid reason. Nor if you're a mom of a 3-year-old, should you want someone that's not ready for that? Yeah, that's not ready for that. It's almost like he could have taken his same advice and give it to himself because he was getting after Becca about not being upfront and being honest. Yeah. That's all he would have had to do after the date. He said, hey, Becca, I had a great time. But, I am not ready, and I'm not ready for the kid thing. That's it.
You could argue it's mature to be able to recognize that in yourself if that's the boat you're in.
Yeah.
The only thing you can fault him with is maybe he could have just let her know, like, hey, this is why I'm not interested.
Yeah, and don't even say it's anything, right? There's nothing. It's great. She's got single mom, 3-year-old. Yeah. That's wonderful. But yeah, even as her, I would assume she'd want someone that is potentially ready to take that on, right?
You would assume so? You think, unless she's just dating for fun kind of a thing, which maybe on Tinder, I guess. Maybe.
I don't know.
If you missed it, we get it up in the podcast here shortly at Y94.com. Mailbag situation and a bit on the show. Prize Thieves at 8:20. In a couple of minutes, the things that women definitely apparently don't want for Christmas this year. Gabby and Charlie, it's I Help Playhouse in the Morning, Y94.
I hope she makes you smile. The way you made me smile on the other end of a phone in the middle of a highway driving alone. Oh, baby, I